in the social sciences, in the humanities, many things are left open-ended.
Yep.
And so what makes Ambet Ocampo relevant, I'd like to think that the reason why my history is different, it's because I'm not pegged to the past. I try to relate the past with the present. I always try to let students look at the past through the present, and therefore it connects. So history is not just something you study and forget. It remains relevant in any time. So one of my, this is the standard Ambet Ocampo essay. One of the first assignments that the students do is they have to dig up, and that's the good thing about the Ateneo, they have to dig up the newspaper on the day that they are born. And at the time, there's nothing available. Today, actually, it's not AI-able. No?
Yeah.
The only newspaper available for my students' birthdays today is the Inquirer. And not all of the Inquirer is available online, which shows you how difficult it is to research.
Exactly.
Because the New York Times, I can read from yesterday all the way to the 19th century. Searchable by name,
wow.
searchable by date,
Okay.
searchable by topic, and then this one, wala. Diba? So anyway, the students go, they read the Inquirer on the day that they are born, then they come and they tell the stories. Of course, one of the things they look at is they're amused by the movies. They're amused by the prices of the goods. Why was it
Mura
so
pa.
cheap?
Yep.
So you can explain what inflation is, right? They look at the cell phones. Bakit ang lalaki ng cell phone, no? And so they see that, and then eventually, when we process, we actually see that a lot of the things they see in the newspapers on the day that they're born, it's political turmoil, secession in the South, communist insurgency, earthquake, famine, rape, murder. It's the same. And if I mean, like, they read the newspapers, they see Juan Ponce Enrile on the day they are born. He's still alive. When I was a boy, Juan Ponce Enrile na siya. Hanggang ngayon, buhay pa. No? So, when they look at it, and then they look at the names, di ba? And then they see familiar names, but the situations are, you just change the name, and the situations are the same. And that's when I actually tell them that the world has not changed very much since the day that you were born. So what will your generation do so that this will not repeat again? So that actually is the first lesson in history not repeating itself, and that their generation is responsible for the future and how they... So in a sense, they learn not only about the past, but they see themselves in the past. And for many people, it is an unforgettable assignment, because the assignment is given not just to teach them that, but also to prove to many of the students that parents can be the most unreliable source of information. So when they ask their parents, ano ba nangyari sa akin nung, anong nangyari nung napanganak ako? And then they'll say, ang presidente niyan si Erap. Then they look at the papers, hindi, si Gloria Arroyo yung presidente. So when they're stuck with what the parents remember and what the primary source tells them, suddenly parang it opens. No, you can see that their minds open. So I have many, not many, but I have a number of assignments like that, which people actually enjoy doing. And then they go back home, and then at dinner time they tell this to their parents.
But it gives you empathy, you know. It
gives you, and that's you make a good point. History is also important because it teaches us empathy. Teaches us not to blame the generation before us, but it helps us to understand, ganito kayo. So kami hindi, paano kami magpapalit? So it's not, because it can be taught both ways. We can blame the past, right? But when they see it, but the past was there, and yet why is it repeating? So the students have a very good time, and that's the way we look at it. We study results diaries, we study results letters. So for the first time, they're actually reading a primary text because you're only reading a textbook. You're
Yep.
doing Wikipedia Rizal. But for many students, parang, especially like the dormers, they read Rizal's student diary and parang, he feels homesick for Calamba, and I also feel homesick in Manila for my town, no? So they actually suddenly see that Rizal is relatable,
Got it.
no? Kulang yung baon, nagugutom siya.
Si Rizal, kinulang pa ang baon.
Diba?
Talaga.
So when you see that, it changes
Got it.
the way in
Got
which they see this hero, and I'd like to think that by making him relatable, people will be more interested. No? And
Got it.
actually, I also like to think that the way I teach him, when I was starting out, people used to be upset that, ang Abeto Campo na yan, puro chismis yan. Saka parang sinisiraan niya si Rizal. Sabi ko, hindi mo kayang siraan yan, no? He was such a remarkable person. But by showing what he is as a real person, rather than
Mas
a
relatable
statue in
Yeah.
Luneta
Yeah,
na
exactly.
bato, he becomes relatable.
Exactly.
And therefore, I am able to tell my students that the secret to Rizal's greatness is his humanity. It is
Beautiful.
not, kasi magaling siya eh, ako hindi, di ba? So, okay na yan. But if he was like that, he shows you what you can be.
Yeah.
He shows the Filipino his own capacity for greatness. So, kung kaya niya, kaya ko din. That
Yep.
should be the way it
Yep.
is taught. But the way in which people see it, he's far,
Yep.
he's exceptional. It is taught in a way na parang we are crushed by Rizal's example. When what Rizal's whole life is, he's excelling not to put you down, but he's excelling to
Tama.
show you what you are capable of. Diba? So it's a whole different way of doing it. And so the Rizal course, I've been teaching that since the 1980s. So what, 40 years of teaching the same course all over and over again. And I don't get tired of it because each semester I see something new, or my students see
Yeah.
something new.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. One of the fake news in Philippine history was the Code of Kalanchaw. No, it's supposed to have been made in Aklan by this dato called Kalanchaw, who did 14 laws. No, and because the Filipinos are a people and a nation in search of validation, in a vain search for validation. So I think generations before, we wanted to find something pre-Spanish to show na bago dumating yung mga Kastila, meron na kaming civilization. So this fake
Correct.
law suddenly gained, because it fed into the validation we wanted. Anyway, the laws are so ridiculous. No, things like you will be punished if you sing while traveling at night, diba? Parang napakatanga naman. Or you will be punished if you shoot arrows at night at old men and
Yep.
old women. And I said, ano yan? So pag-araw pwedeng panain, pag-gabi hindi. Or pwede mong panain yung bata, wag yung matanda. And then there's another one, parang if you perform, you should respect the places where idols are worshipped. So meron silang sambahan, di ba? Where we get the word simbahan. They have temples. And then it says, those who perform their necessities in this place will be burned. So sabi ko, tingnan mo, 1433 pa lang, meron ng bawal umihi dito. So when you look at it, sabi ko, parang And when the class goes through this list of crazy laws, suddenly they actually laugh. And I often tell them, ba't kayo natatawa? Ba't yung mga historian at anthropologist na una sa inyo hindi tumawa? Because they took it too seriously. And so when my students read it, parang there's this funny part. It's law number 3. You should not be excessively lustful. Hindi ka raw dapat malibog.
Hindi na kukontra yun.
Pag excessively lustful ka, you will be condemned to swim in the river for 3 hours. So,
the hell?
totally guaranteed to remove all sexual desire. But if you are still lustful after swimming for 3 hours, you will be lacerated with thorns.
Oh my God.
So sabi ko, anong klase? And so we laughed at this, and then one student raised his hand and said, "Sir, how did they reckon 3 hours in 1433 if they did
Oo,
not have a clock?"
Oo.
Ay, sabi ko, oo nga, no,
Oo
ba't
nga.
walang nag-isip niyan? Then I was explaining, Kalanchaw comes from Ka is the honorific and the name is Lanchaw. And then there were two Chinoys in the back who were giggling. And then
Alam ko
I
yun, sir.
said, "Why are you laughing there?" And then just, hindi sila maka-explain kasi tawa ng tawa. And then sabi ko, "What is it? What is it?" Tapos sabi niya, hindi kasi in Hokkien, Lanchaw means what?
Yeah, penis.
Hindi, testicles.
Oh,
hindi,
yeah, there you go,
testicle.
there you go.
And ka is the verb to bite.
Right.
So, kalanchaw means to bite the
Oh, dear,
testicles.
oh, dear, oh,
So, when
dear,
they
yeah.
told me that, siyempre, tawanan lahat. And then, of course, I didn't trust them. So, pagbalik sa department, ginugol ko nga yun. Tignan mo yung kalanchaw. And then, it came out to suck dick, nakalagay. So, this was even worse. So, when I looked at it, sabi ko, ay, ba't ganito ito? So, sabi ko, the Kalanchaw Code was created by this wonderful man called Jose Marco, who lived in Negros, in the early 20th century. So, he created this hoax, but he left a joke. So, that was the joke,
my
but
God.
nobody saw
Oh my
it.
God.
And if you go to Cebu, there is a soup called lanchaw, which is bull testicle and,
Soup number
and
5.
penis soup.
Yeah.
Oo.
Yeah.
So sabi ko, ayan na, that is the clue. And where did I get that? I got that from two giggling Chinoys in the back. And sabi ko, nobody saw this for 100 years, no? And all it took was that class to
Yeah.
show me. So it shows you again, that this law that people took so seriously can be debunked by two undergrad Chinoy kids,
Grabe, no?
who just heard the word and saw something. So they saw something else, or they read it in a different way. So you need Hokkien speaking Chinoys to tell you that. So it shows you, di ba, how knowledge progresses because and I was teaching this for many years and it was only that particular time. So malaking bagay, or even the way that they see things, So there's this wonderful drawing. Rizal did a drawing of Leonor Rivera, and I showed this in class. This is Leonor Rivera, and then somebody said, "No, that's not Leonor Rivera." And I said, "Why? Who do you see?" And he said, "That's Michael Jackson after cosmetic surgery." Tapos, of course, we laughed and then we were like, nga, kamukha ni Michael Jackson. But when we looked at it, again, someone before Michael Jackson wouldn't have seen Michael Jackson, but it shows you that a younger person sees that
With a
same
different
history
lens.
with a different lens, with the lens of their time and their understanding, and that's when you connect. So history is not about data. History is really about connections.
Ganda.
History is about finding relevance, and I think that's the way I've been teaching history for the longest time. It is to find relevance in the past so that you can understand the present and we can go forth into an uncertain future.
Sige. I think I'll close our episode with this, sir. But siguro I want to close with maybe just give me, sir, one of the most memorable parents of the students encounters that you've had. Anything on the top of your mind, no? Do you ever interact with these parents? Or do they, I don't know, like try to intervene with whatever?
Well, that has happened a number of times. The first one I had a difficulty with was in UP.
Okay.
A student came asking that I reconsider the grade, and she came with a letter from a congressman who was not even a parent. Parang he was an uncle.
Oh my God.
So, kasi siyempre kala niya matatakal. Yung pa, UP Diliman pa, no? And so, I circulated the letter to the department. So, they were all horrified. So, baksak yung estudyante na yun.
Oh, wow.
That was one. Another one was a parent who came parang 2 weeks before the end of the term because the daughter wanted to withdraw. And I said, why? And then she says,
Dulo
she's
ka.
not ready for the unit test. And I said, I looked at her grades. She can get an F in this test and she will not flunk. And then the parent said, no, my daughter cannot, her self-esteem will not take it if her grade is
Labo.
lower than
Ang
an
labo
A.
nun, ah.
And so I told her, you should let your daughter flounder every now and then. I said, but and where is your daughter? Why are you the one who is here? And I don't know what her excuse was. So I
Tanda na nun,
I
right?
told her, I will sign this because you want it, but I don't agree with it. And I'm telling you, ma'am, this is not the way to rear a child. Because that child has to learn to sleep every now
Exactly.
and then. And what kind of a life will she build? Anyway, but most parents naman are appreciative. Once I was eating in the Italian restaurant in Forbes with my friend, and when we asked for the bill,
Bayad na?
bayad na,
Wow.
di ba? And then sabi ko, ba't bayad na? Then somebody stood up and said, parang 2 of my children were your students. And they enjoyed their class so much. So this is my way of thanking you
That's beautiful.
for making it. And so I said, I wish I had ordered more if I knew you would pay for this. But that's there are mostly they are appreciative
Yeah.
parents, no? Because when my students go home, they tell the stories at home. So there's a it does not stop with them, no? It ends up in their dinners, no? And so it shows,
And that's the
no?
goal.
And that's the
That's the
goal,
goal,
no? That
right?
they learn
Ganda.
something, they process something. But in terms of students, my most memorable class was when they did a report on early revolts in the Philippines, no? And this class was particularly lively. So one group said, we're going to show pre-Hispanic religion. And then this guy came with his pet python, which was parang 10 feet long. And then ginaganyan niya yung
Tunay to, sir?
oo, kasi
Oh my God.
they're dancing with this python. Then ako parang takot na ako. Pero do not show fear kasi baka lalong iganyan sa'yo. Then after the report, he put his python in a gym bag. And then said, oh, ano yan? How many classes do you have? I have 4 classes pa. My class was in the morning. I go home at 5 o'clock. You're going to carry that heavy thing? No, I leave him in the library.
Oh my God.
So he checks in the bag. And then sabi ko, paano ko? No, I open it a little bit so he can. Sabi ko, paano kung lumabas yung python? Di ba? Ayun, natawa. Then the other group naman, they did a battle scene. So, because my class is always the aircon one with a screen. So they switched off the light, so it was pitch dark, and then somebody threw alcohol on the blackboard and lit it. So suddenly there's this beautiful blue flame, and then I go, shit, you're burning the place down. No, we know what we're doing. And then I go, the smoke alarm nila, no, alcohol does not have smoke. It
Oh,
will not
wow.
smoke.
Nag-practice.
Pinractice nila talagang lumiyab. And ang ganda naman ng effect, di ba? They're fighting, tas the blackboard is ablaze, is beautiful blue flame, and then namatay na. Then when they switch the light, shit, the thing is, it's all black. You destroyed. No, we know what to do na. Then they got the eraser. Then they erased it.
Parang
Then
ash lang.
parang natakpan, naging puti ulit. Sabi ko,
Nag-practice
yung practice talaga sila. So, after that semester, my syllabus said, no live animals and no live fire in any report. No, but I actually miss that. Kasi,
And those are the things that you
nakakatuwa.
remember, right? I mean,
Nakakatuwa talaga sila how they
grabe.
did that. So I mean, we have many experiences. That's really the most amazing of all. But I'd like to think that a teacher, and yun nga, people were always saying, my colleagues always say, ba't ganyan yung mga estudyante mo, no? Nahahawa sa kabastusan mo, ganyan, no? Because I also have this lecture about what did Andres Bonifacio shout when when he tore his cedula and started the revolution. And I said, the standard that we are taught, as he shouted, "Sugod mga kapatid,
Very
kalayaan,
nationalistic.
Pilipinas."
Very-
Sabi ko, alam mo, we put ourselves in its proper historical context. Bonifacio is getting his men to fight. And how do you inspire them to fight? He shouted what I think is the most powerful word in the Philippine language. It's the PI word. Diba? So sabi ko, he's facing the enemy, then he waves his bolo at the enemy, and then he will shout, "Putang ina nyo." And then everyone will say, "Putang ina," and then they will all fight, diba?
Parang si General Luna,
Oo,
sir, right? In this
diba?
movie.
And sabi
That's
ko,
how he riled up eh.
the reason why we do not say that is because how do we tell our children and our children's children that Bonifacio shouted the P
Yeah,
word?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
kailangan sugod,
Dapat
mabuhay,
very, diba?
kalayaan,
Very inspiring.
diba?
Oo.
Inspiring. So, one day, one of the faculty members heard it and sabi niya, Ambet, there's no historical documentation for that. Sabi ko, wala rin kayong documentation dun sa sugod at sa kakalayaan. No?
Correct.
And then sabi ko, hindi ba commonsensical yan? Sabi niya, oo, pero wala. So, in a way, when you say that, the students actually then get to think, di ba? O hindi nga siya PI. Ano ba, what do you think he would have shouted? Di ba?
They would dwell on it more,
So,
right?
they
On the
dwell
material
it.
more.
Di ba? So, because of this, it opens the mind. So, one of the things also, I told you about president of UP calling me, because I had and the president of UP knew the quiz. He says, "I heard that you asked for essay questions. The question was, which is older, black or white?" And then he says, what kind of a question is that? I said, it is a question to see if they are thinking and that they are willing to. And then I said, the standard answers are, kasi religious, parang white is older because in the, black is older because in the beginning was darkness and God said there would be light and there white is younger. Sabi ko, how sure are you that light is white? It can be yellow, it can be pink, di ba? So medyo na sila. And then then somebody says, ito mga great answers, parang black is older because when we are young, our hair is black, and when we are old, our hair becomes white. Sabi ko, it's not white, it's silver. But then it shows you again that they're thinking. Another question was, what is more great philosophical question. What is older in a donut? The part you can eat or the whole? Kasi it is not a donut if it does not have a hole. Then somebody said, no. In Dunkin' Donuts, there is a munchkin, which is the thing you get out of the hole, di ba? Sabi ko, galing naman, di ko alam yung munchkin. Then somebody said, yung isa, ano yun? Sabi niya, it depends on your preference. If you're on a diet, then what is more important is the whole, because it is the part that you do not eat. Mga ganyan, no? So, matutuwa ka sa sagot, di ba? There's no real answer, but it shows how open the mind is or how creative they can get. Now, you will be also told that in the UP College of Education, Ambet's the examples of improper test construction are always Ambet Ocampos exam. Because my most famous exam in the Ateneo was an exam question. They read the Picafetta description of the Magellan expedition. And then the essay question was, describe the Battle of Mactan from the point of view of a fish. So technically, you know naman the story, how the battle happened, but you have to imagine it from a fish's point of view. I've had only one student who refused to do it kasi it was silly. Di zero siya, di ba? Then, there was one student who for 1 hour filled the blue book with the most legible glub, 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 glub. 5 pages of glub, 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 di ba? And the urban legend in the Ateneo is that I gave that student an A.
Did you, sir?
But the truth is, so I read it, I should have kept it, no, but I had to return it. So I I wrote in the bottom, if you can translate this into human language, I will give you an A. But for effort, I will give you a D, which is a
Pwede na,
passing.
pwede
di
na.
ba? But yun nga, sabi niya, ano ka talaga. So,
Pwede na,
again,
sir.
what is that? So, for the UP College of Education, that is not a proper assessment. Diba? But sabi ko, no, we're training them for other things. The other deadly question was this. No? So we study Rizal. There's a picture of Rizal's execution. And then the essay question is, what is the significance of the dog in the execution of Rizal? And then, typical Ateneo bullshitters, di ba? They think they will give the teacher what they think he wants to hear. So one student says, the dog is a symbol of our colonial oppression and our independence because in the beginning the dog is tied up and after Rizal is shot, the dog is walking around, so it shows how Rizal's death gave us our freedom. Sabi ko, that's bullshit, di ba? And then, so almost all of the class, well, the whole class flunked. And so I had to answer the standards committee because education tells us that if you flunk more than 30% of a class, which is statistically impossible, that means the problem is with the teacher or the content. It must be passable, diba? Even by one person.
Exactly.
So, tinawag ako ngayon, anong klaseng test ito? Essay test. And then sabi niya, anong answer? Ano sa tingin niyo ang answer? And then they said, you have to answer because you know you're being questioned here. So I said, okay. So the answer there is, there is no significance. The answer should have been N-O-N-E, or if they answered in Filipino, W-A-L-A. Then the committee said, but this is an essay question, right? Yes. It is answerable in one word? Yes. But you're confusing the students. And I answered, kaya nga test, di ba? Kailangan i-confuse yung student. So, parang naano sila. So, they let me go, but I was told that I think at some point when I was abroad, because I'm usually abroad, parang faculty was forced to take a seminar in proper test construction. So, which shows you, and for me, my philosophy is students are trained from kindergarten instinctively to pass a test. So like, UP Education says I cannot do it. Kasi once tamad ako gumawa ng mag-correct ng paper. So sabi ko, sige, I'll give 100 points. True or false. Tapos, true lahat yung 100. Sabi niya, hindi pwedeng true lahat. Kailangan kalahati. Sabi ko, hindi Sabi ko, pag 100 yan, true. When they're in number 60, parang magdududa na sila na hindi pwede ito lahat true, di ba? So, mamaliin nila yung iba. So, since right minus wrong, baksak sila, di ba? Because they know that it cannot possibly be all true or all false.
Yeah.
Or sabi ko, we all know it, di ba? Multiple choice question. If you don't know the answer, the default answer is what? C. Because that's the way in which tests are constructed.
Correct.
So sabi ko, they must experience at least once in their life a professor like me who will just
the models are challenged.
Who will challenge the model. And then I have strange rules like this is the deadliest one. Most teachers will cancel your lowest test. Ambeto Campo will cancel your highest test. And so, dun sila naloloka. But sabi ko, the point here is, I am teaching you consistency. Grabe. So, if you have, if we follow the normal thing, your grade is AAF. Cancel the lowest, so tanggal yung FA ka na. But sabi ko, what if your grade is FFA? And then I cancel your highest. So yung
tapos
A mo, wala na, yari ka. But sabi ko, your highest grade is a fluke. But if your grades are consistently high, I can remove the highest grade and you will still
It won't
remain
even
high.
dent.
So
Yeah.
I'm removing that
Grabe.
joker card. Diba? But
Hirap
again,
pumasa sa inyo, sir.
yun yung
Ang
ano
hirap
nila,
pumasa.
parang paano yan, di ba? So,
Okay.
so I have many strange
Okay.
rules like that. But nobody seems to have complained, no? And after a unit test, even if they flunk, it's one of the things that I realized that they actually live with a smile or they laugh even if they got low. And, now that I am older and retired, hindi sa bumabait ako, but there's certain things I do that I wouldn't have done before, but some people don't agree with. So like, during the semester, I have low stakes quizzes, which won't really matter, but it makes people feel happy. So they take it online. So you answer the test, di ba? And then lalabas yung correct answer. And then you are given a second chance to do the same test. Again, since you already know the answer, di puro 100 yung ano. So, I was told, hindi mo pwede gawin yan. Sabi ko, bakit? Kasi magiging 100 lahat. Binigay mo, nakita nila yung correct answer. And then, you let them take it again. And then, my philosophy is, hindi ba nung nakita nila yung correct answer, natuto na sila? O di dapat, 100 sila.
Because often, titingnan mo lang yung score. Iwan mo yung test paper, di ba?
Pero ito, kung nakita mo na, and then you're given the chance,
Ganda.
para nun sila na sabi ko, hindi ba natuto
That's a
na
very
sila?
good point.
But, so,
Mas natatandaan.
the tests are not made to oppress you
Yeah.
or to assess you. The tests are made to teach you, di ba? So, in a sense,
Got it.
by looking at your mistake,
Damn.
natuto ka na.
I would have wanted to be your student,
But,
sir. I would have wanted to be your
but yun,
student.
those are many, but those are things that you get because I have 40 years of undergrad experience, diba? And I realize now, more than ever, now that they're talking about grade inflation, I keep telling my colleagues, bakit kayo takot na takot sa grade inflation? Why can't you accept that the kids are better than us? Or if they are not better than us, they have the internet, which we did not have.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you have to give
They
that
have archives
to them,
of
diba?
previous exams.
Oh, yeah, diba? It's so
come on.
easy to do things. But
Exactly.
these are the things. So like, in the beginning of the term now, the past few years, I show students how irrelevant grades can be by showing how averages are wrong. So like, I will show them. These are two students. One student's grade is A, B, C, D. And the other student is D, C, B, A.
Okay.
So if we calculate the average, both students are a C. But sabi ko, who's the better student? The one who is A, B, C, D
pababa or
yung D, C, B, A.
nag-improve?
Diba? So if we just look at the average, pareho lang sila. Pero you should actually reward the one who is improving rather the one who is not improving. Sorry, parang nagaganyan din sila. But I mean, it takes a long time of teaching to understand
It's beautiful.
these kinds of things. No? So, I'd like to think that people should be trained to, especially for the GE courses that are meant to supplement us. They're not the courses you need to pass a CPA exam. No? But these are the humanities, social sciences courses that make us human. These should be open-ended courses. These should be courses that you learn just for the sake of learning and not to pass a test. No? But fortunately, we have to do assessments. So that's it.
Alright, so thank you, Sir Ambet.
Okay.
Grabe yun. Para ka tayong nag-pedagogy class din, sir. Tinuruan mo ko paano magturo rin, right?
Diba?
I think that's something that most teachers would appreciate, right? The way you also handle your exams and handle your classes, right? Yeah, thanks to everyone. And yeah, please tune in to Ambet Revealed for our succeeding episodes. Thank you, sir.
Okay.